Howdy, I'm Greg Zwicky, and I work with USDA's Natural Resources Conservation Service on our Air Quality and Atmospheric Change team. Today, I'm going to give you a brief introduction to the NRCS air quality resource concerns as they apply in the Southwest and Southern Plains. NRCS has 5 air quality resource concerns: emissions of particulate matter, or PM, and PM precursors, which are other compounds that can form PM, emissions of ozone precursors, objectionable odors, emissions of greenhouse gases, and our newest air quality resource concern, emissions of airborne reactive nitrogen. I'll be talking a bit more about each of these in the next few slides. But first, it's important to think about the primary emissions that are associated with these resource concerns. The NRCS has focused our efforts on 8 primary agricultural air emissions: directly emitted dust and smoke particles, ammonia, volatile organic compounds or VOCs, oxides of nitrogen, otherwise known as NOx, odorous sulfur compounds such as hydrogen sulfide, methane, nitrous oxide or N2O, and carbon dioxide. When we look at our PM-focused resource concern, the main emissions that contribute to that concern are directly emitted PM and also ammonia, VOCs, and NOx, which are gases that can form airborne particles from chemical reactions or condensation in the atmosphere. These emissions can come from a variety of sources. In the Southwest and Southern Plains, you have to remember that much of this area was the heart of the Dust Bowl, so windblown dust is still a huge contributor to airborne particles in this area. Additionally, other sources include confined animal activity, such as cattle and open feedlots, vehicles traveling on unpaved roads, dust from field operations such as tillage and harvesting, fire, engine emissions, and ammonia, which can come from animal operations, and nitrogen fertilizers and manures. VOCs and NOx are gases that combine in the presence of sunlight to form ozone at lower levels of the atmosphere. Ozone isn't a huge issue in many parts of the Southwest and Southern Plains, other than in some areas in Arizona and around big population centers. Also, since most VOCs in rural areas are emitted from vegetation, VOCs from agriculture aren't a huge focus in our area either. However, the oil and gas industries in the Southwest and Southern Plains do provide VOCs to combine with NOx. Although most NOx is emitted from vehicles, electricity generation, and other combustion sources, we can get some NOx from agricultural engines and fires. Odors are primarily associated with confinement-based animal operations, especially manure storages and manure application. Combinations of gaseous emissions of ammonia, odorous VOCs, and odorous sulfur compounds contribute to odor issues. Agricultural greenhouse gases include carbon dioxide, methane, and nitrous oxide. From agriculture in the Southwest and Southern Plains, we're mainly concerned about soil carbon released from tillage, carbon dioxide released from fossil fuel combustion, methane from anaerobic manure storages and enteric fermentation in ruminants such as cattle, sheep, and goats, and nitrous oxide from manures and nitrogen fertilization. NRCS's newest air quality resource concern is airborne reactive nitrogen, which involves ammonia and NOx and their impacts on atmospheric chemistry and deposition. The main agricultural sources of these emissions in the Southwest and Southern Plains are ammonia from animal operations and nitrogen fertilizers and manures, and NOx from fuel combustion and fires.